We know that you wanted to be at the Fight, Laugh, Feast conference, but you can't come all the days. We have a day pass where you can come on Saturday, where you get to hear great speakers like Pastor Doug Wilson, Pastor Jared Longshore, Pastor Toby Sumter, Cross Politics Live Show with Jason Whitlock and Megan Basham. Join us for the Sabbath Feast, where we get to laugh with comedian John Branyan, all for the low, low price of $99. Sign up for the day pass, flfnetwork.com. Looking forward to seeing you there at the conference.
Are we live?
Huh? Obviously, our producer didn't know that.
All right. Good evening. It's Monday. It's 1 week before we head off to Cincinnati and then to Nashville, and then to Knoxville.
What's happening in Cincinnati?
It's just meetings. We got meetings. Hey, y'all, welcome to Cross Politics.
Do you know about these meetings?
Pastor Toby, Chalk Knox, I'm the water boy. It's good to be with you. MIGA is the word today. Remember MIGA?
MIGA?
Make Italy great again.
Oh, brother.
Which means MIGA, Italy's now racist. Racist.
And probably hate us.
Stop sending your hard-earned money to companies that hate you. It's time to build a Christian economy, and Bobo Construction, Inc. is literally doing just that. For all your construction needs, partner with Bobo Construction today for any project in California, Nevada, Washington, or Idaho. Also, if you need a cool hat, their hats are really cool.
Yeah.
Yes.
I wear their hat regularly. They gave us. Contact Austin Bobo at A-Bobo at boboconstructioninc.com or visit the website at boboconstructioninc.com. Whatever's fair and right, that's what we do, Bobo Construction Inc.
Okay, I got you guys to say real quick. Pastor Toby, we owe you an apology. This weekend, we made you do all the driving on our trip, and that was wrong. I got back, and I was exhausted, and I was like, but we made Pastor Toby drive, and he has to preach Sunday. What's wrong with you, Gabe?
I drove for an hour.
You just because he asked
like,
you to. He didn't even complain. He
and then
just
I was
did
like,
it
I got
all.
in the back and I worked.
And so if Pastor Toby has a bad read on something, it's really our fault. We should have probably been driving this weekend. What did we make? What was it? Like 10, 11, 12 hours, something like that?
Yeah.
12 hours?
6 hours there, 6
he
hours.
ain't complaining, but
we went to Vancouver. You actually can watch the show. We released it. We went to Vancouver, Washington. My wife, she got back. She's like, "How was Canada?" I was like, "Baby,
Well,
baby, I was actually
you married the right woman, bro."
she's like, she just knows when it's time for me to get home. That's it. That's it.
So
hey, how's Canada? I was like, "Baby, I was next to Portland. I was in Vancouver next to Portland." But
same thing.
And we did a live show with Joe Kent, who's running for Congress in Washington. Pretty excited about that guy. Ray Reynolds, who's running for sheriff in Clark County, which includes Battleground, Washington, Vancouver, and all that stuff. And both really solid candidates. I'm pretty excited about them. It's good to see. I think this new crop of candidates that I hope doesn't fall into this establishment mindset. I really hope that doesn't happen. So anyways, that's where we went. You can catch the show. Great conversations with those guys out in Vancouver, Washington. Or Battleground, Washington.
Or Canada.
Because that might help make some distinguishing cities. Prime Minister, we can call her Prime Minister now.
Yeah. Yes, we can.
Elected Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni. Yeah. Meloni.
Probably.
Meloni.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Who knows?
Italy. MIGA, make Italy great again. She got elected today. Today, Monday, was the election, and she's now Prime Minister elect.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And so we want to give a little background because I know that I like Italy's pizza.
Okay.
They got this Colosseum there.
You should stop before we get real racist.
Come on.
Right
So
now.
that's what else?
Stop.
So as Americans, we're kind of oblivious, largely to political things going on in other countries. But so this is a little summary video of kind of the tension of her coming into office.
Italy is revered for its history, reflected in palazzos and ruins and statues. But not all of that history is beautiful, and many fear that one particularly ugly chapter could soon repeat itself. This year marks the 100th anniversary of Mussolini's historic march on Rome, plunging the country into 2 decades of dictatorship, an alliance with Hitler, and a Second World War. Today, his fascist party is gone, but many say she is carrying the torch. Giorgia Meloni, leader of the Brothers of Italy. What was once a fringe party has ballooned into the biggest in the country, and it's now poised to lead the most hard-right government since World War II.
The fundamental problem in Italy is becoming the illegal immigration. Too many immigrants.
To protect the traditional family, a family composed by a mom, a dad, and sons.
Italy's conservative superstar remains fiercely opposed to adoptions and surrogacy for same-sex couples. The fiery 45-year-old is comfortable with some of the hallmarks of Italian fascism, like this motto: God, fatherland, and family.
That's fascism now?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. You gotta, this is, what do we call this? Propaganda.
From CBS?
From CBS.
No.
Yeah.
Pastor.
Yeah, we should do a
We're doing a conference,
we should do a conference on this.
Yeah. Seriously.
Yeah, this is the party of fascism in the same way that Democrats are the party of the KKK.
Wait a second. But the Democrats are the party of KKK.
Well, are they?
Yeah.
They started the KKK.
And I would say, and that's actually a closer connection.
Yeah.
But of course, they would freak out and light their hair on fire.
You have literally Hillary Clinton, who is praising Margaret Sanger, who is a part of going to events with the KKK and praising what they're doing. You know, so
right. But I'm just trying to show them a mirror. If you're going to do this, then do it.
Okay. Yeah.
But if you're not going to do it, then stop it.
Well, I think I'll
stop it.
But there is so you got
I would like to define fascism.
Well, they just did.
No, like historical. Remember your dictionary?
Yeah,
that Jason Farley gave you.
Yeah.
It's like
The
historical, like true definitions of words, not something that was made up in the last 10 minutes or 10 decades or 10 years.
Got one of those?
Fascism
real
is
dictionary?
Authoritarianism.
Wow. Come on, say it.
It's a.
You didn't even drive for 11 hours.
I didn't
on Friday and Saturday.
It's dictatorial. It is. I'm just moving on. It is. The government is ruling over industry, even though industry might be separate. The government is still ruling over industry. They're in bed together. That's what fascism is.
Yeah.
She's not dictatorial. You want to know what fascism? That's Biden in COVID.
Well, it's funny.
That's Fauci working with big tech. That's what fascism is. That's
I don't disagree with
authoritative.
that. But I think what we're seeing here is everything that the Democrats say they love, which is democracy. So you have a group of people who actually decided to vote for a particular person that they wanted to be in power, and they voted for that person. And everybody's saying it's fascism.
Knox, it was the lowest electoral turnout in decades.
So?
Just saying.
So then democracy, how come all of a sudden when they don't like it, it's fascism, but when they do like it, it's democracy?
Yeah.
Democracy won out here. So democracy doesn't care if it's fascism or not, right? According to democracy, it doesn't matter. It's whatever the people want. And if the people say that they want a 4'2", how tall is she? Like 5'2" or something like that?
5'4".
If there's somebody...
Haley's 5'2", and she said she's 2 inches taller than me, 5'4".
Right. Yeah, so if the people want a 5'4" woman...
benchmark.
Yeah.
How tall is our assistant producer?
Just base it off that. Yeah. If that's what the people say they want, then what's wrong with the people choosing to vote this particular way?
Because they're now racist.
Straight up.
Like Italians are now racist for voting her in.
Yeah, straight up.
Right? All right, but what's incredible is, man, some of the speeches that I've seen recently from Giorgia.
Meloni.
Giorgia Meloni. I'm
Giorgia.
probably all right, Giorgia. Have actually been pretty inspiring and pretty. I kind of wish some of our conservatives here.
You want to be
in
a
the
fascist too?
Yeah. Well, here's our next clip talking about nuclear family.
Sí a la familia natural, no a los lobby LGBT. Sí a la identidad sexual, no a la ideología de género. Sí a la cultura de la vida, no al abismo de la muerte. Sí a la universalidad de la cruz, no a la violencia islamista. Sí a fronteras seguras, no a la inmigración masiva. Sí al trabajo de nuestros ciudadanos, no a las grandes finanzas internacionales. Sí a la soberanía de los pueblos, no a los burócratas de Bruselas. Y sí a nuestra civilización, y no a quienes quieren destruirlo.
So she says, no. So
she was speaking in tongues.
Yes. And we got Gabe can translate.
Yes to natural families. No to LGBT lobby. Yes to sexual identity. No to gender ideology. Yes to culture of life. No to the abyss of death. No to the violence of Islam. Yes to safer borders. No to mass immigration. And yes to work for our people. That's kind of a shorthand translation of what just happened there. And that's what she's saying.
So the natural family is now
it's back.
Fascist.
It's racist. It's fascism.
The depravity that comes from LGBTQ stuff, that stuff is that's fascist. To say that you don't want to have that in your culture and community.
Islamic violence.
Yeah.
Being against it.
Men, women, those type
male
of
and female.
Yeah. That's so it's funny because now I'm starting to feel like, wait a second, now the way that they view MAGA, we're all fascist.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what they
want. The Republican, I was just listening to a speech today from Biden over the weekend. He was talking about not everybody who's MAGA is bad, right? Not everybody who's MAGA is bad. And then later down the speech, he starts saying Republicans voted against this, $1.7 trillion bill, and the MAGA folks, and he just put the MAGA and the Republicans all together. And I'm starting to realize there was an old friend of mine back in the day who said, son, if you live long enough, when you start seeing culture leave you, like you don't move, you don't go anywhere, but the culture itself progresses outside of normacy, right? And so I remember that because I was like, oh man, that's not really going to happen. But I'm watching just the idea that like the whole Meet the Press situation. That whole situation was, wait, this is normal.
Right.
This is what normacy is. This is the very foundation, the bedrock of humanity in the world. And somehow that's insane.
Right. Yeah,
they can't get it.
I mentioned this in the sermon yesterday at King's Cross, but the gal just going over and over, like they believe that wives submit to their own husbands.
Right.
Wives submit to their own husbands. And this last week, I read this article on Alexander de Tocqueville's book, Democracy in America.
Yeah,
Remember,
Alexander
de Tocqueville came over and visited American colonies to just sort of write about like what's going on here in this place in the early 1800s.
Yep.
And one of the chapters he writes about women in America. And the thing that he says is that it's striking how women are so oriented to their own families, to domesticity. He says it's striking. And he says, and yet I know of nowhere else in the world in which women are held in such high regard. He says, if there is one thing that I would say is most striking above all else in America, it's their women. I mean, that's a striking testimony of this outsider, this Frenchman coming over to see what's going on here. He says,
could have been Italian.
I mean,
Watch it.
I don't even know what that means. But he says the women are given to their homes. They're given to their families. They're known for submission to their own husbands, orienting themselves to their homes and to their families. Yeah. He says, and I know of nowhere else in the world where women are held in such high regard. And it is one of the most striking things about America is their women. It was a glory. Right? The domesticity of women, the submission of a wife to her own husband in the Lord, was the glory of America at one time. Yeah. And now you have somebody like Ann, what's her name, on Meet the Press.
Yeah. Thompson, I believe.
And Thompson going on about how, like, can you believe it? Yeah. Can you believe it? They believe that wives should be submissive to their own husbands. Alexander de Tocqueville saw it and said, yes, it's striking. And it's one of the most glorious things in America. Yeah. I know of no other place where women are held in such high regard. Yeah. And I mean, talk about, the culture moving on. Yeah. I mean, this is what built America.
And there's no surprise that they're after our women. I keep seeing this. So you remember that teacher in Canada who had the huge breast, the guy who was walking around blackfacing women.
The prosthetic.
Blackfacing women.
That's exactly. Right. And it drives me nuts because I just keep thinking to myself, if anybody else ran around with black paint on their face, just going to the store and trying to act black the whole time, my dude, how you do? And was just acting like that the whole time, we would have a fit.
Right.
And yet a woman.
Right.
A dude is trying to do that to women and convert because it's where our courage comes from. Right. Beauty begets courage, and so they're coming after that to destroy us. That's what gets us not to fight. If they can mar that image, if we let them mar that image, Tocqueville's seeing something that's beautiful about the country because of the women, right? They're protected. We die for our women.
Right.
Don't you mock them.
Right.
You can't make fun of them.
Right.
There's something at the end of this. Part of what's missing in the left right now, they don't see, even the ones that are trying to be, I don't think that everybody's gone completely out of their mind on the left. I don't think so. I think there's some who are trying to be nice and create this world for everybody and don't see that this LGBTQ stuff brings in another perversion outside of what they're just seeing. They have no idea. And so they're wondering, like, what's wrong with, why are you guys acting so crazy? There's something else on the end of that. There's something else to the end of destroying the beautiful image of women and mocking it.
Right.
As if you can just take
And
the most exaggerated and beautiful things meant for life, and exaggerate them to that end.
Right.
What are you trying to communicate?
Right. I think there's even a number of conservatives on the other side who
David French
see this as like kind of perverse, kind of corrupting, kind of bad, but also don't see it for the insult that it is.
And it is one.
They don't see it as blackface for women. They don't like they would never be caught dead doing blackface.
Right.
But they see this as just sort of like, oh, it's kind of perverse. It's a little bit raunchy. It's kind of bawdy. It's not appropriate for children.
Right.
But it's like, yeah, and it's insulting every real woman in the world.
Where's the Greta Thunberg, was her name?
Yeah.
Saying, how dare
Greta
you?
Thunberg.
Yeah,
Thunberg.
Like, where's she at right now?
Where's your how dare you?
I don't have that. All I have is this
Blah,
one.
blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
So, Giorgia, there's another clip where she actually hits on some of the things that we're talking about right now.
Potrei farne tante altre di queste domande. A monte c'è quella che ci facciamo oggi: perché la famiglia è un nemico? Perché la famiglia
Why is
fa
the
così
family an
paura?
enemy?
C'è una risposta unica per tutte queste domande. Perché ci definisce, perché è la nostra identità. Perché tutto quello che ci definisce in questo tempo è un nemico, per chi vorrebbe che non avessimo più un'identità e che fossimo solamente schiavi, consumatori perfetti. E allora è sotto attacco l'identità nazionale, è sotto attacco l'identità religiosa, è sotto attacco l'identità di genere, è sotto attacco l'identità familiare. Non devo potermi definire italiana, cristiana, donna, madre, no. Io devo essere cittadino X, genere X, genitore 1, genitore 2, devo essere un numero.
Wow.
Perché quando sarò solamente un numero, quando non avrò più un'identità, quando non avrò più radici, allora sarò lo schiavo perfetto in balia della grande speculazione finanziaria, il consumatore perfetto.
She kind of gave me goosebumps.
E questa è la ragione per la quale oggi noi facciamo tanta paura. Questa è la ragione per la quale oggi questo appuntamento fa tanta paura. Perché noi non vogliamo essere dei numeri, noi siamo qui per dire che noi non siamo dei numeri, noi difenderemo il valore della persona umana, di ogni singola persona umana, perché ognuno di noi ha un codice genetico unico e irripetibile. E questo, piaccia o no, ha del sacro. Lo difenderemo Dio, la patria e la famiglia, che fanno tanto schifo a qualcuno. Lo faremo per difendere la nostra libertà, perché noi non saremo mai schiavi e semplici consumatori in balia della speculazione finanziaria. Ecco la nostra missione, ecco perché oggi sono venuta qui. Scriveva Chesterton ormai più di un secolo
Chesterton.
fa. Vediamo se ve lo trovo. Fuochi verranno attizzati per dimostrare che 2 più 2 fa 4. Spade verranno sguainate per dimostrare che le foglie sono verdi in estate. Quel tempo è arrivato, signori. Siamo pronti. Grazie.
Incredible.
She said that time is here.
So to recap just a little bit for those who are listening audibly here.
Yeah. But if you're listening audibly, wait a second. If you're listening audibly, download the app and watch the video because it's all right there. We just want to.
We interpret tongues on this show.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
So she starts off with basically asking this question: why is the family the enemy?
Right.
Yep.
And then she goes on and says their play is they want to lose distinction with what the family means. They want to call us number one or gender X or
number two,
parent one, parent two,
parent one, parent two. Not mom, not dad.
Right.
Because this is how they control you. When this is actually, I think, a lot of our society, our democratic play right now, is they want to flatten out any distinctions that we have in our society.
Yep.
And when they do that, they win. And then she, you got anything to fill in? Please go.
But I think one of the things that's really interesting is she's actually tying it not just to the government, but to financial exploitation.
Yeah. Economics.
She's saying that, and I think it's collusion. It's big business and the state in collusion.
That's right.
Where we are reduced to mere consumers. And
World Economic Forum stuff. That's what she's going after.
Right. Rather than being
globalism,
she says, but we're human. We have unique genetic code. We have nations. We have families. We have religion. We have all these.
I'm a Christian.
I'm a Christian. I'm an Italian. I'm a woman. I'm a mother. I think she says,
is it Italian nationalism? What is Christian nationalism in Italian? But I like it. Whatever.
But then she finishes up with that GK quote,
this is incredible. So this is at the end of GK's book, The Heretics, and The Heretics was a series of essays going after prominent theologians, philosophical authors at the time, and calling out their heresies, basically. And he starts off, and he ends the book with, okay, this is what orthodoxy looks like. The last chapter, and then he later on, everyone knows his book, The Orthodoxy. Most of us know that book better because it's a response to all the critics regarding his work on heretics. So here's the quote here. It says, "Truth." This is the full quote to give you what she gave you at the end. The last paragraph of Heretics: truths turn into dogmas the instant that they are disputed. Thus, every man who utters a doubt defines a religion. And the skepticism of our time does not really destroy the beliefs; rather, it creates them, gives them their limits, and their plan in defiant shape. They're plain in defiant shape. We who are liberals once held liberalism lightly as a truism. Now it has been disputed. Now that it has been disputed, and we hold it fiercely as a faith. After it's been disputed, we hold it as a faith. We who believe in patriotism once thought patriotism to be reasonable, and thought little more about it. Now we know it to be unreasonable, like a family is unreasonable now, right? And now it is,
and know it to be right.
And know it to be right. We who are Christians never knew the great philosophic common sense which inheres in that mystery until the anti-Christian writers pointed it out to us. So we assumed our Christian faith for so long, it finally gets pointed out. And it goes on, the great march of mental destruction will go on. Everything will be denied. Everything will become a creed. It is a reasonable position to deny the stones in the street. That's reasonable. It'll be a religious dogma to assert them.
Right. It'll become like religious faith to say, no, there really are stones in the street because the reality is
everyone denies them.
It's being denied.
It is a rational thesis that we are all in a dream. It will be a mystical sanity to say that we are all awake. Here's her quote, fires will be kindled to testify that 2 and 2 make 4. That's America. We're debating 2 and 2 right now. Swords will be drawn to prove that leaves are green in summer. We'll be fighting over it. We shall, and then that's where her quote ends. And then to finish, we shall be left defending not only the incredible virtues and sanities of human life, like there are literally stones in the streets, but something more incredible still, this huge, impossible universe which stares us in the face. We shall fight for visible prodigies as if they were invisible. We shall look on the impossible grass and the skies with a strange courage. We shall be one of those who have seen and yet have believed.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Right.
This is...
If you haven't read Orthodoxy,
I haven't.
You are a heretic.
Oh.
Blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah.
I haven't read it. I do need to read it.
Oh, man.
This is the last year I've been going through kind of getting a foundation on 2 things, metaphysics and cosmology, right? And some of I'm seeing this right here, what he's talking about so clearly, where the things that we know to be true, we can see them right in front of us, they're denied. You are a man. No, I'm not. I'm stealing from you.
Right. I bought these prosthetic boobs.
Right, exactly. See, I can become... Well, and the other thing, too, is, economically, we're not stealing your money.
Right.
We're not... Right. Yes, actually, you are.
You are.
We're not making things work. You just told us not to go to work.
Right.
We can help you. No, you really can't.
Right.
No, get out of the way.
Yeah.
This is... And part of the challenge that I've struggled with is arguing with people who say, no, the emperor does have clothes on. Like, no, he really doesn't. You know he does. I know you see the same thing. Don't act like... But what do you do when you have this group of people who are pushing you the complete opposite way of the truth?
Yeah.
You know, well, you just stand there.
You stand there and you
keep saying the same thing.
Right.
He has no clothes on. And here's the thing. This is why we got to bring Romans 1 to this. I know that you know that you're suppressing truth. Right. That's the other thing. I think we stand there and absolutely have the conversation, but also stand there and say, and I know that you know that you're lying.
Yeah.
Right. I know that you know that you're lying.
Right. Yep. It's true. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God, and the Word didn't stay in heaven.
Come on now.
The Word became flesh and dwelled among us, and we beheld his glory. The Word became flesh, the story of God's grace became flesh, and it is that Word, that truth, that story that will fill the whole world. That's why this year's Fight, Laugh, Feast conference in Knoxville, Tennessee is on lies, propaganda, storytelling, and the serrated edge. The Word is a sword. The Word is our glory. So join us October 6th through the 8th as we fight, laugh, and feast with beer and psalms, speakers including Pastor Doug Wilson, George Gilder, Ben Merkel, Jared Longshore. I'll be giving a couple of talks. Chocolate Knox will be doing a roundtable with the Wilsons and Merkels on why stories are so potent for building family cultures that win, all culminating in a live show with Megan Basham and Jason Whitlock talking lies and journalism. And remember, we just announced a one-day Saturday-only pass for just $99 a person.
People will be signing up for that, too.
Find out more and register today. You can also, is there still room to become a vendor? I don't know if that's what
is that possible?
I'm sure we got a couple spots left.
Okay, fightlaughfeast.com. Sign up today.
We can make it work. And if you can't make it, become a club member and you can stream it all live.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's
You
right.
catch all the talks live streaming.
That's right. All right. I think there's a new McCarthyism coming.
What?
Can I say that?
McCarthyism?
You know,
Finding
McCarthyism.
Finding the
back in the day.
Is he hunting for communists?
Kevin McCarthy came out with what he's calling I just lost the term for it. A commitment to America.
Yeah.
All right, so here's what's happening.
So original.
I know. Commitment to America. Remember Newt Gingrich? His was in the 90s. Newt Gingrich.
It's like a
agreement with America.
covenant with
America. Contract with America.
Yeah,
Contract with America back in the 90s while he was cheating on his wife and Bill Clinton was cheating on his wife. It was great. So Kevin McCarthy, because the Republicans are smelling a victory in November.
Right.
And so they're kind of jiggering and lining up. That you got people kind of vying for certain authoritative position in the Republican parties, right? Because people want to be the chairs of this and that and so forth. Well, Kevin McCarthy, he's the GOP committee.
It's not a thing, Gabe.
Yeah, it is. I like it. For them, it is.
Okay.
Until they change their ways.
Okay.
He's one of the leader. He's the leader in the House right now.
Right.
For
He's the minority leader.
The minority leader.
Right.
So he came out with this commitment. Okay.
Okay.
And there's 4 main themes. I'm gonna actually let Kevin talk about it here for a minute, and then we're gonna hash it out.
Okay.
They control Washington. They control the House, the Senate, the White House. They control the committees. They control the agencies. It's their plan, but they have no plan to fix all the problems they created. So you know what? We've created a commitment to America.
I want that. I want that pamphlet. Where's that?
Commitment to America. Hey, look, there's what's her name in the
MTG.
background.
We're going to talk about it
Marjorie.
today.
Yeah, Marjorie.
We want an economy that is strong. That means you can fill up your tank. You can buy the groceries. You have enough money left over to go to Disneyland and save for a future. But the paychecks
goodness.
grow, they no longer
Did
shrink.
Biden write this?
Go to Disneyland?
We have a plan for a nation that's safe. That means your community will be protected. Your law enforcement will be respected. Your criminals will be prosecuted. We believe in a future that's built on freedom. That your children come first. They're taught to dream big.
Come on.
And we believe in a check and balance, that government should be accountable. No longer special interest. We should work for you, not the other way around like it is today.
Better play Greta now. Play Greta.
Blah blah blah.
Blah, 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 blah.
That was the most uninteresting, uninspiring.
We'll take this backstage.
You
Hold
almost
on.
make me stop voting. I'm not going to vote for any Republicans now.
I have a
Hold
quote
on.
from Nancy.
If you're single, get married. If you're married, have you some kids. If you have kids,
Backstage.
go baptize them. Until tomorrow, love God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. Love your neighbor as yourself. Go fight, laugh, and feast. This guy's about to tear this thing up. This is crust politics.
Republicans make me so mad.
It is the duty of the free man to resist tyranny at every turn. Every man will either watch his freedom stripped away or take action to protect what he loves. Introducing the A3, the newest revolutionary body armor from Armored Republic. The A3 is the new standard for lightweight multi-hit body armor. A3 plates are incredibly light at 4.6 pounds. The patented design captures fragmentation while remaining multi-hit capable. The A3 will stop up to M80 ball, yet comes in at only 0.7 inches thick. The A3 is the thinnest NIJ .06 compliant or certified composite standalone plate that includes the drop test. The A3 is the first of its kind, patent pending, that combines an alloy strike face with polyethylene backing, revolutionizing body armor technology by providing strength and durability while remaining sleek and maneuverable. The A3 is the new standard in lightweight body armor. The fight against tyranny just got stronger.
Hi, I'm Robert Borton, CEO of Classical Conversations, the world's largest classical Christian homeschooling community. I'm launching a new podcast, Refining Rhetoric. If you like cross-politics or just listen to hear what crazy stuff they're saying today, you will enjoy Refining Rhetoric. You can find us on your favorite podcast platform. I practice the 15 tools of learning by interviewing great guests, looking at current events, and talking about cryptocurrency.
Meet Big Ed. He has a tax-funded taste for children. Big Ed knows that the best grooming starts early. He has a plan for your preschoolers, a plan to gender confuse your grade schoolers. But if you think his grooming stops there, you have not been paying attention. Big Ed wants to liberate your daughters from old-fashioned ideas like, well, you already know. Big Ed has dorm rooms ready for you in prison buildings of learning, and professors standing by dedicated to grooming young adults in doubt and unbelief. After all, he is the gatekeeper of this brave new world, and if you want a job, you'll need to pay him with years of your life for a permission slip. Yeah, whatever. You think David paid Goliath for a certificate in giant management before those two squared off? Did Luther major in theses? Was George Washington summa cum laude in empire repellents, while Jefferson focused on ag with a minor in declarations? When the world needs saving, meaningful vocations abound for those who are truly prepared. And the truth is, despite Marxist advances, this is still America, and Big Ed is still a voluntary opt-in. So don't. Not at any level. Not preschool, not middle school, not college. It isn't complicated. When Big Ed offers you free candy, stay away. You'll thank us later. We know it's crazy, but run with us here. Men and women were created in the image of God. You don't need a government certificate of faux learning for personal validation or permission to work. You were born with divine permission to pursue knowledge and understanding, truth, goodness, and beauty. And at New St. Andrews College, we are committed to helping students do just that, to their fullest potential. In an age dominated by chaos, when learning is on a choke leash controlled by Big Ed and his many strange friends, ours is an education for outlaws, an education for men and women committed to building a beautiful and free society in the ruins of the Western world. When thinking is outlawed, only outlaws will think. Yes, Big Ed hates what we do, but his hatred brings us joy. New St. Andrews College, liberal arts for outlaws, mind, body, and soul.